Welcome back, man, to another episode, all right, on the Perfectly Unfinished podcast. I'm your host, Sharen Clark.
I'm your co-host, Sharen Clark.
All right, and, hopefully you guys saw the past episode that we just did. This is not a continuation of it, but we are going to touch on, some similar topics, all right? They all correlate somehow, some way.
Exactly.
All right, but we're going to talk about getting out of your comfort zone, which seems to be something that I feel like hinders people from reaching their full potential.
Exactly. I know for me, it took me I'm still working on that, but it took me a minute to come out of my comfort zone, because the comfort zone is safe.
Right.
It feels so safe. So, jumping out of it is,
it's tough.
It's very tough.
It's tough. I feel like, when we were younger, or I would say when I was younger, you seem more confident. You almost don't care as much when you're younger, to where, you get older, and now it's like you kind of think twice before doing certain things.
Right. I guess because when you're younger, you don't know.
Right.
You have no clue, so you are going to do different things. You'll talk. That's why your parents tell you don't talk to strangers.
Right.
Because if somebody come up to you and start talking to you, you talk back to them.
You're in trouble.
And then you got to be careful if they're trying to give you candy or something like that. You'll take it. So that's why they say, listen, don't talk to strangers.
Right.
When you young, you don't think about that stuff.
No, you don't. All right, so we're going to touch on a few topics, right? So the first one is start small, or in other words, take baby steps.
Right.
The second, embrace the discomfort, or in other words, get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Right.
The next one, refrain from failure as learning, or what we're going to say is take risk, man. Take risk.
Yeah.
Next one is surround yourself with supporting people. We're going to touch on maybe joining a church or some type of supporting group, to help you, get that support.
Right.
And then lastly, visualize success, or in other words, begin with the end in mind. Imagine yourself, you're there, you made it.
Right.
And allow that to fuel you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I guess let them know, some of, the baby steps you've taken to getting out of the comfort zone, because, you've done a lot of things, like writing a book. I'm sure a lot of people could write a book that they're scared. Maybe they're scared. They don't know, how to start, where to start. You've spoken, at the church in front of people. You are creating a show, once again, and just, everything that you've done to where, you're taking your baby steps to getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, wow. It definitely wasn't easy. I think just my experiences and just knowing that I need to do something different. And like you said, take baby steps. So talking to people, and of course, you mentioned church.
Yeah.
Church was it was vital for me, because they used to, when I was a kid, the older, it's so much different now. Older adults, it's like, no, like, we're asking you, so like, you're gonna do it.
Do it, yeah.
It wasn't, no, I don't want it. It was, no, it was none of that.
So
you had to do it.
I already said it.
So, right. And, it was fearful. And, to me, I feel like I was a shy kid growing up. And so we would have to do, at one time we was doing a broadcast. We would have to speak. And even before that, we would have Christmas plays and stuff like that. And I'll take it back even further than that. Before we start doing Christmas plays, at a young age, you would just have to recite something that they gave you, to be a part of, because you little, you only just recite a little bit. You had to learn your little part. And so to me, that was like, wow, that was definitely coming out of my comfort zone, because I didn't want to talk in front of nobody.
Right. Yeah. Who does?
I didn't want to talk in front of nobody. And then you want me to remember something, and say it without reading it. So yeah, so that helped me too over the years come out of my comfort zone. And even now, I'm still trying to come out of some part of a comfort zone, because I love behind the scenes. I don't like being in front of the camera, although I want you in front of the camera. But I'm learning, so yes, baby steps and just different experiences has helped me to come out more and more and more and more.
That's pretty good. And it just came to me. You've sung, you've been what do you call it, a lead singer. So talk about that, like how, because I couldn't imagine myself getting in front of people and then singing at that. Like that's nerve wracking.
It really is. I would say, I'm trying to think how old I was. I think, I don't know, maybe a teenager. And, they just passed me the mic, and it's like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna, you're gonna choke up, right?
There you go.
So, I think for me, when I'm asked to do something, I could be like, shaking, just like, nervously shaking.
Right.
But I think, when people ask me to do something, I try to do it to the best of my ability. So it's like that time when you got to perform,
right?
So you perform.
You show up, show out.
Right, you show up and you show out. So I think that's how I've been coming up. Even though you may stagger, you may stutter, I'm that person, like I'm like shaking,
right.
But you just do it.
Yeah.
You do it because first of all, you're in front of a whole bunch of people. And
imagine if you just stopped and you just stuck. Which some people, I forgot what they call. That's a thing.
Stage fright.
Yeah, some people they be like,
it's true.
Like that's it.
Now I've been there a little bit to where I have gotten lost for words.
Yeah.
So that kind of is the same thing, because it's like, okay, I don't know what to say, or I done forgot what I'm supposed to say, and it's like, oh shoot, wow, what do I say? But I think for me, you don't want to be embarrassed. You want to just try and do your best, and so that's how I've made it through it out of my comfort zone.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right, yeah. I mean, for me, growing up, like I said, I feel like I was more confident as a kid than where I am. I'm not gonna say now. I'm pretty confident now, but for a very small period, I was like, yikes! I don't want to do too much and be out there and do all that, because then like you said, you don't really. You don't know what to expect.
Right.
I guess the reactions of others.
Exactly.
And if you're performing, they tell you not to really care, but at the same time, you still have a little bit still has to care. Right. Because you're performing.
Exactly.
Let me see. Embracing the discomfort, right? Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's another topic I feel like we should master. Especially being on a podcast. Right. It's uncomfortable.
Right.
It is uncomfortable. You're talking to a camera. I mean, it probably would be better if we had a live audience and whatnot. Right. But getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, I think, is almost like a superpower.
Right. Okay.
A superpower that athletes have, performers have, actresses, they're all performers and whatnot, speakers. You have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
You do.
And, I feel like that'll take you very far. That'll almost slingshot you into, right. I don't want to say success, but sort of, kind of.
Right, right. I think, especially for me, once you do it more and more and more, that's when you start to get comfortable with it. You develop, you.
Yeah.
You develop and, your style of speaking or your style of singing, you start to develop it because you're doing it more and more and more. And then, you feel comfortable, although you still may be nervous every time you get up, but you still are a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
That stage fright is real.
It is.
It's real because, I guess when you see how big the audience is, and sometimes you feel like you want to choke. You're sweating.
Like there's a frog in your throat.
Your palms are sweating, and again, you might be nervous, so you're shaking a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but the more you do it, the more you can say to yourself, you got this.
You got this. Yep.
You could do this. I've did that myself. It's like, Sharen, you can do this. Like, stop playing. These people.
Right.
You can do it. Although, even now, even with podcasting, like you said, you don't know sometimes you feel like, oh God, like how are they gonna
perceive this?
right? How are they gonna take it? Am I doing good?
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned that we all make mistakes, we all stutter, and sometimes I feel like, you know what? Take your time, slow down, take your time. And again, the more you do it, the more comfortable you feel.
The better you are, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost as if like, you once you do it once, it's like, okay, I've survived this. Like you're not going to die.
Right.
And some people, like you said, stage fright. Some people don't know. They're like, I'm stuck.
Right. Right.
I guess to help people who may be stuck in their comfort zone, who may not know how to get out their comfort zone, would you say taking risk would help them, or is that something they should maybe inch into? I'm sorry.
I guess it depends on the person.
Okay.
Some people have to just go.
Right.
And some people have to, like take their time and, ease their way in. I remember learning that if you throw somebody in a pool, that's how they learn how to swim.
The baby afloat, right?
Baby, right, exactly. So sometimes you have to just throw yourself in there, jump off that bridge, not literally, because I don't want nobody,
Absolutely not.
we don't want nobody doing that. But, you have to just like jump into it and do it sometimes.
Right.
I mean, and I say that because too, if you are a swimmer and that water is cold or maybe cold, it doesn't make sense to try to ease your way in because you'll never get in.
Yeah.
But if you jump in, you're in.
It kind of just hit you all at once. Like,
Right, yeah. Exactly. But you're in. And it might be that cold to where you get right back out.
Right.
But at least you did it. You jumped in.
You survived.
You survived.
Yeah.
So I guess it depends.
Okay.
I would say.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, I jumped in a lot of times. I remember, going to cook school and trying out for, what do they call it? Not the talent show. Yeah, okay. Trying out for the talent show, and it's almost cringy looking back at it now. It's like, I did that, or maybe, acting for the church wasn't, it's not that bad. You still are nervous to an extent.
Exactly.
But, as some of the young actors, I would say, they have a lot of confidence.
Okay.
They have a lot of confidence, and that's pretty good to anybody, even singers and whatnot.
Right.
Being able to just jump out there and do it. Yeah. Kudos to them. For
Absolutely.
Real.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, quick question.
Yeah.
You mentioned a talent show. Did you ever make it? Because I don't remember going to talent shows.
I don't think I made it. I remember it was me and X, we did something. I forgot what little whatever it was, skit or whatnot.
Gotcha.
No, it didn't. It didn't cut it. They didn't.
I didn't think so. You mentioned talent show. And I'm like, wait a minute. I don't remember going to a talent show.
They told us come back next year. But I did. I was.
But at least you did it though.
Yeah, I was. What do you call it? The Mad Hatter for Alice in the Wonderland.
Okay.
I was in that play.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was dope, and I wasn't too scared. Again, I feel like as a kid I was a little bit more confident
right.
to jump into doing things.
Okay. And also, when we talk about jumping and getting over our comfort zone, one thing that I will give to actors, I give them their kudos,
right?
Because it's not easy.
It's not.
It's not easy at all. I had to take a class, and you got to memorize this stuff, and I had to get in front of the class, and we had to rememorize it. There was no papers.
Monologues, right?
Monologues, and other stuff, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I give it to them because it's a lot.
It is.
And they memorize dialogue, a lot of dialogue, although being on set, there is a time where, if you forget your lines, they'll read it, you do what you got to do. So what they do is they just cut that part out.
Right.
They cut that part out. So so we constantly going.
Right. Or you can improv. Some let you improv.
Some
if
do.
It's good enough.
Right. And some don't, because here's the thing with that, the writer, most of the time they're on set. So you actually have to get their permission in order to change the dialogue.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't just change it. Like, they have to give you permission to say yes or no, because they're the writers. And that's what they wrote, So they want you to pretty much,
Do that.
I mean, unless it's in your contract or unless you have that agreement, to say, or unless the writer or director say, you know what, it's okay, you can improv.
Right.
But I've been on set and I'm like, wow, the actress, she said, I'm not doing that, or I'm not saying that. And so we had to stop.
Yeah.
Stop filming. And we had to wait for the writer to give the okay or not the okay. And I forgot how long we stopped for, but we had to wait. It was just like, stop, cut. Yeah. And we had to wait.
Because they want it done how they want it done.
Exactly, because they're the writers. And, it's their work. So you're bringing their work to life. And so you just can't, say what you want to say or not do, because it's their stuff.
It is.
So, yeah.
Wow. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the next little topic will be surrounding yourself with supportive people, or in other words, to help you get out of your comfort zone, maybe join a church or a group. For someone, you've been in church your entire life. I have as well. But how would you say the church has helped with your confidence or helped with supporting you just with your ongoing life overall?
I've gotten a lot of support since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And again, because of the adults, they like, you gonna do this.
You gonna do this.
You gonna do this. Like, there is no, there isn't, I don't know how to do it. No,
right.
You did it. You did it. And like you said, we didn't die. It didn't, it didn't harm us. We did what we were told. So, I mean, it helped us. We did a broadcast, and sometimes I would be the, not just the MC, but I guess the broadcaster, the announcer. I think we called it the announcer. And so sometimes I would have to do that. And yes, it helped me come out of my comfort zone. I would say at that time, because there's different things that you go through in life to where, you may have a bigger audience versus a small audience, or you may have to go somewhere by yourself. And it's just like, wow, I don't know how I'm going to do it. And the support, support was definitely there. People, would encourage us to do different things. They would practice with us, train. And so that helps me. Yep. That helped me a lot. And then lots of times we were in a group when we did different things, except for when you were up there by yourself. That's not a group. But, for me, again, I would just give myself the prep talk and be like, come on, Shareen, you can do it.
Let's go.
You're going to do it. You got to do it. And you're going to do it good.
Right.
And so I took on that type of attitude. And lots of times I would get up there and do what I got to do. And, afterwards I may have said, oh my God, I'm so nervous, or I wasn't nervous. And people would look at me like, you don't act like you was nervous. You ain't seen nervous.
You did a good job.
And I said, oh no. I said, y'all don't understand. Right. I was sweating bullets, and I'm shaking up there. But you do it. You get over the fear. You get over the shock, because sometimes it's shocking when you go up there. It's because you're not used to it. Yeah. When you first do it. And like I said, I still have to get out of, certain comfort zones when I have done, live stream funerals. And at first, it was okay because I'm with someone. But when I go by myself, it's like, I don't know these people, or I may think I don't, until you get there, you might see people because you don't know. But, when you think about it, it's like, oh my God, I'm going there by myself. I don't know these people, and then my prayer is like, oh my God, I pray that nothing goes wrong. Lord, please, get me through this day, do through this service. And, you're hoping that everything goes good, that, no batteries. I've had times where, I charged up my batteries, but because they were getting old and I didn't realize it, the batteries, they're dying on me. And I didn't bring my chargers, and I'm like, oh my God. Then I did my phone, and my phone is full. And I'm like, OMG, like, what in the world? And, these services, there's no do-overs. Right, There's no do-overs. So I still, have that comfort zone issue at times. Yeah. Still. So, yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I would say the church for me too, they definitely instilled that in us as well as, doing the announcements. reading over the prayer list, So I would say that definitely helped shape me into getting ready to do a podcast. That's helped me stand in front of people and preach, give a word. And even praying in front of people is, that's probably one of the most nervous things you can do. Of course, you want to tap into the spirit, but it's like, just trying to think about the right words to say for the right people at the right time.
Exactly.
It's tough.
It is tough.
It's very tough.
It is tough.
Now teaching, I try to tell the students, I'm like, look, y'all may be nervous to talk, and if I pick on you, but I'm like, how you think teachers feel?
Right.
Sitting here talking to air.
Right. Exactly.
It's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
You're sitting there talking to students you don't know.
Right.
You don't know if they're gonna respect you. You don't know how they're gonna react and whatnot.
Exactly.
But like you said, you kind of just got to get up there and do what you do.
You got to.
And perform.
Mm-hmm. Gotta perform. Gotta do it. Even if even if you don't want to, because sometimes you're in a situation where you just have to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about being at work.
Right.
And you're doing a presentation. I remember being in school, college or high school, middle school, elementary, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Teacher have you come up and do a presentation. And you have to talk in front of the class, in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's nerve-wracking too,
It is.
but that helps you get out your comfort zone too when you do stuff like that.
Yeah.
You do like you say, plays, and you have your part, and you're singing, or if you're preaching. I think I think for me, because I have been in the same church for years, you feel some type of comfortability,
Right.
but then you're still nervous. But I think when we started going live, that's when I'm like, ooh, like the camera's on me, and so many people can see, so many people can hear. So it's just like, ooh, that was nerve-wracking for me. And I know that I was holding back, and I'm really just starting to ease in and be like, all right, God, take over, like for real, because
Jesus, take the wheel.
Take the wheel and you drive. And I'm in the back seat,
Right?
Because it's nerve-wracking, and you gotta, just wow, it's a lot.
I believe
it's a lot, but you just get up there, do what you gotta do, and I believe in saying what God gives me to say. And it may not be popular,
right?
But and that's another thing. You don't know how it's going to be perceived. You don't know how people feel. Because I've learned that a lot of people not even going to tell you.
No,
some people are like,
hey,
whatever. But some don't, and it's just like you don't know. They don't.
In the back talking about, I know she did not say, or no, he did not say that, and you just like, it's said, unfortunately.
Right. So it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
But you do it.
You do it. That's pretty good. Would you say visualizing yourself doing it, or like beginning with the end in mind? So like, say you got to do a presentation or something, or let's just say public speaking. Do you think visualizing yourself doing it and kind of getting through it helps? Would that help someone who's maybe scared to get out their comfort zone or to do that specific thing?
I'm not sure if I've done it. I would say I believe it would help.
Okay.
Because you're visualizing that you got it done.
Right.
And so it'll give you that confidence, to say, you know what? I saw myself do it, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to. Sometimes you got to practice. Sometimes you have to, put your research together or whatever you got to do. Presentation, you got to, put it together. You got to get it. You got to find it. You put it together. Sometimes you got to practice. Sometimes you got to practice in front of your family.
Yeah, I was about to say that helps.
And that helps too, get you comfortable. Or maybe you stand in front of the mirror.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do put a camera on and you just practice,
right.
And because like they say, practice makes perfect. So you got to keep doing it. Keep doing it.
I feel like that's what a lot of actors and, again, performers, that's what they have done. Got in front of one family members or done it in front of the mirror. So you see yourself doing it, and it's like, okay, well, if they think it's not that bad, then maybe it's not that bad. But, of course, you still can't really get away from that feeling of being in front of people and performing.
No. But sometimes what I've learned too is sometimes you have to find someone else that you don't know, because your family they're gonna say, oh, you did an awesome job, and oh, you did this, and oh, you're so cute and that. But sometimes you got to get around people that don't know you, that can tell you and really critique what you've done. Right. And instead of getting people that know you, because people that know you, I'm about to say, some will give you the raw truth. But your mama and them, they you're good. Oh, you did a wonderful job. Then when you get around the other people, they're like, what you doing? So
this is kind of off topic. Well, not really off topic, but do you feel as if I would say the times that we're in now, do you think people are a little bit more softer? Because I feel like, not saying getting picked on is good or being made fun of is good, but I feel like that kind of does help someone get over it. Like we kind of grew up in ways to where it's like, oh, we got picked on and we got made fun of, yo mama jokes, all that. So we're not as sensitive as, people growing up now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'm in the same, boat, because when I was growing up, the kids was rootless.
Yeah. You messed up. It was like, ha, ha, ha,
I mean, they picked on your clothes. Yeah. They used to tease me in a good way. They used to call me the star of Channel 20.
Okay.
Because we had a broadcast and I sung in the choir. I was the announcer at times. Yeah. And so if I was late and I walk into class, and I mean, like, they would just stop and be like, oh, the star 20, Channel 20 just walked in. And I'm like, oh my God, like, it was embarrassing. So back then it was so different. So definitely, yes, I feel like they are. I remember we used to have a cracking session in the classroom, and the teacher would get so aggravated because that's all we did once we came back from lunch. And we would just crack on each other. And we learned. I mean, I used to crack on, they used to crack on me, I used to crack back.
Right.
And the whole class is laughing because, listen, I feel like this. You gonna get me, I'm gonna get you back.
You have to.
I don't care if I gotta learn how to do it. I'm gonna get you back. I'm gonna crack back on you.
Yeah.
And so, but you can't do that anymore. No, you cannot do that anymore. We actually had fun doing it. So I guess we were that tough generation to where, you bring it, I'm gonna bring it back. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's go. Yeah. And now today you can't do it. You can't do it at all. So yeah, they are very different.
Yeah. So, if you're someone who is out there, you may be a little bit too comfortable and, you want to learn how to get out of your comfort zone and whatnot. Hey man, make sure you check this episode out and try to try some of these things that we discussed here, right? So taking tips. Yeah, these tips, right? Taking baby steps, okay? Getting comfortable with being uncomfortable, right? Start taking risks, right? There's nothing wrong with taking a risk. If you fail, so what? All right. Next would be surrounding yourself with supportive people. Maybe join a church. I know a lot of people are very sensitive now about churches and whatnot, but if we think about it, a lot of famous people or people who perform at the highest level in front of people, they started at a church, so maybe think about that. And then lastly, begin with the end in mind, right? Start visualizing yourself doing these things that you want to do. If you want to create a podcast, start visualizing yourself speaking in front of a camera, or start taking or practice speaking in front of the camera. Yeah.
And take lessons, learn. There's so much nowadays that you can do. There's so much opportunity out here, and sometimes you just gotta do it. Like Nike said, just do it. Sometimes
that's why they're so famous. Yeah,
exactly. You just gotta jump in there, do it. Like my son said, if you fall, you gotta get up, try it again.
Yeah,
because your wealthiest person or celebrity or business person, they didn't start off like that. No. They did not start off like that. They had a lot of no's, they had a lot of failures, but the thing that is different, they kept doing it. They kept going, they kept doing it. And so we like to stop when we have adversity, or we have a bump in the road and we get discouraged and we stop. They didn't stop because maybe they did see themselves at the end.
Yep.
Maybe they did say, I see myself here, so I'm going to get there no matter what it takes. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to find that circle to help me get there. You know, they say that whatever you want to be in life or whoever you want to be, you surround yourself with those people.
Absolutely.
And get there.
Yeah. And use the moments. If people are laughing at you, use that as fuel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Use it as fuel.
Use it as fuel. That way, when you at the destination where you want to be, you can go ahead and laugh back at them.
Absolutely. And I feel like that with a lot of stuff. So even in relationships, even, you know, with whether it's friendship, whether it's a boyfriend and a girlfriend, whether it's, you know, a wife and a husband, and you got divorced and you didn't make it. Listen, make sure that you look good no matter where you go. Yeah. And so when they look at you, they feel like, man, why did I mess that up?
I screwed up. It's like, no, let me stop.
Why did I mess that up?
Yeah.
So yeah, like don't feel, you know, don't let your head hang low. You know, don't feel, you know, even though, you know, like I said, it's you know, that comfort zone, it's a real thing.
It's the devil. It's
a real thing. Even in that, you know, when you know, even friendship, you know, I've always said and felt like, don't let people see you sweat.
Right.
Don't let them see you sweat. You know, pick your head up. You know, look good. You know, and let that be fuel. Right. You know, to make you be greater. You know, and where they left you at, listen, you're not there no more. No. You're not there no more. Go beyond that. Go beyond that comfort zone. Go beyond that hurt that you felt. You know, listen, let it work for you. Absolutely. Let it work. Absolutely. And work it out. Seriously. You hear me? Yeah. Work it.
it's so much, and we all got so much to do and so much to prove to people hating on us and to people that's you know still supporting us. Right. We still have to prove it.
Exactly.
You know, that's good.
Exactly. You know, listen, give applause to your enemies, you know, because they help you to get where you got to go. Yeah. You know, I've always used my situation. I've always used it because it has helped me to get where I am today. You know, and I'm not perfect. Yeah. You know, I don't feel that I'm above anybody. You know, I'm very down to earth. You know, and so if anybody, you know, I'm cool with anybody. You know, I get along with pretty much anybody, any age. You know, I mean, because we all go through problems, situations, you know, but I'll tell people in a minute, you know, listen, you use it, you know, and life throw you lemons, make some sweet, good lemonade. As a matter of fact, make some Uptown, put some iced tea in it, and make it taste good and then serve it.
Absolutely.
Listen, do what you got to do to, you know, to make it, you know, to make something of yourself.
That's good. Yeah. Thank you for the insight.
Absolutely.
Hey man, another great episode here on the Perfectly Unfinished Podcast. Yes. Again, we hope you guys enjoyed it. Yes. All right, I'm your host, Sharen Clark.
I'm your co-host, Sharen Clark.
And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all our platforms, Instagram, Facebook, at Perfectly Unfinished Podcast.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man.
Catch you next time.
Next episode.
Bye-bye.